Welcome to my German alphabet course. A few years ago I created a 30-minute, a quick course really, on the German alphabet, purely how you pronounce the letters in German and how you could spell your name and your email address. And then I added things onto it, and I added more things onto it, and I've just added another hour and a half to it, so I actually had to do a new introduction video. Because this is now what you get in this course. The first section in this course is almost identical to any of my other courses. So if you've got one of my courses already, or even if you're just a Udemy student, and you know your way around Udemy and you're not really interested in me, then ignore that first section completely. You don't need it. Just tick the box as marked as done and move on to section 2, because that's really where the course starts. If, however, you are completely new and you want to know a little bit about me and you have never done a course on Udemy, then it might not be a bad idea to go through section 1 as well. Section 2, this is now where the course really starts. And it starts off with the pronunciation of each individual letter. So you learn how to say A, B, C in German. In section 2, but also in section 3, there will be lots of exercises, listening exercises where I will spell words to you and you will work out what I've spelled, and hints and tips of how you can spell words. There is also a section on the German spelling alphabet, you know, the German version of Alpha, Bravo and all that. And then in section 4, we look at this letter sounds within words. And the first part is the vowels and the diphthongs. So we look at A, E, I, O, U, and some combinations of A, I, E, I, E, A, U. Can't remember which of the other ones are. So you'll get all those. And the consonants plus any combination. So for example, C, we also have CH and CK, we have S plus SCH, ST, SP, or we have PH. So you get all those different combinations. How do you pronounce them? When do you say a word with this letter, or when does it sound more like that? Nearly all the videos come with PDFs attached. They're there for you to download. Don't worry about printing them, because that probably is a big waste of ink. The idea is that sometimes people want to look things up very quickly, but they don't really want to scroll through a video to find that bit. It's a bit quicker to scroll through a PDF. Although there is one PDF I suggest you do print out, and that comes in part 4. A lot of the videos in part 4 have quick little exercises where you need to basically tick a box. Does this word sound with a long E or a short E, for example? Now you can use some scrap paper, of course, or you can pause the video and make your grid yourself, or you can print out the PDF with all those little exercises, and then you've got it ready when you work your way through the videos. So you've already heard there are listening and reading exercises, and I've also added some tongue twisters in part 4 for some extra speaking practice for you. Those I have also added all together on one PDF so that you could download that and maybe print it out as well. And finally, if you've watched the promo video, I lied. I'm nowhere near as slim as the character I pretend to be, but at least I'm real. I hope you will enjoy the course and all the videos.
Welcome to my office. If you were having face-to-face lessons, you would be sitting in this room with me, or possibly. If you had Skype lessons, you will probably see about roughly the same as what you can see now. But as you're having online lessons, which means you're watching videos whenever you want to and not necessarily when I'm around, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Angelika Davy and I was born in Germany. As a child in Germany, I had this idea of I wanted to grow up really quickly, move to England and make everybody in England like the German language. I also wanted to be an air hostess, a singer, a dancer, and a teacher. So some of this I actually achieved because in 1982 I moved to England and I started teaching in 1991. And since 2006 I have been teaching for myself, my own business, Angelika's German Tuition and Translation. Since then I have been busy with translating, writing my blog where you always find lots of free resources of how to improve your German. And I've written some books, including one in German about Wiltshire. Wiltshire is where I moved to and I love the area. I think it's one of the most beautiful areas in the UK. I'm sure other people will disagree with me, but I don't care. I thought it would be nice to entice Germans to come over here and spend their holidays. Just to name two things, Salisbury Cathedral, you may have heard of, and Stonehenge. Now, even if you don't know where Wiltshire is in the UK, you most likely have heard of Stonehenge. And of course, I also teach. I teach private clients, I teach groups, I have business clients, I have people which I teach at my house, I teach people at their business premises via Skype. I teach children's, I have taught children's groups in nursery schools. Actually, the youngest child I've ever taught was 3 and the oldest person I've ever taught was 80. And now I'm also teaching online on Udemy via video courses, and you're about to watch one of them. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get lots out of it. If you have got any problems or questions, please do ask me. Otherwise, all I can say is have fun.
Welcome to the German alphabet course. I thought I'd start you off with 5 facts about this course. Fact number 1. German spelling is as easy as ABC, because that's what it is. We have got the same letters as in the English alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, all the way up to Z, except that they're not pronounced exactly the same. Some of them are pronounced completely different, some of them are pretty close, and some of them actually are almost the same as in the English alphabet. So really, it is easy. Fact number 2. The German alphabet does have 4 extra letters. We have got what is called an A umlaut. That letter is pronounced differently than the A. We have an O umlaut, and that's different, and the U umlaut. And then we have what looks like a capital B letter, the SZ, which is a sharp S sound. And we'll cover those as well in the course, and then you will be fine with them. No problem. Fact number 3. If you're teaching yourself German, or if you're learning German in a lesson with a tutor, if you're using a textbook, at some stage there will be the question, wie schreibt man das? How do you write that? Bitte buchstabieren Sie. Please spell. Usually lecture 2 or 3, obviously it depends on which books you're using. There will be the alphabet, and then you have to spell your names and where you come from and things like this. And we will be practicing that here as well. Fact number 4. If you like the international spelling alphabet, you know, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, there is a German version as well, which I will be teaching you. And that's also fun, and then you can choose how you want to spell your name. And fact number 5. At the end of this course, you will know everything you need to be able to spell in German. because that's the idea of this course. So, let's get started. Get yourself a pen and paper ready for the next lecture, because it's a good idea to write down the alphabet as we go through. I'll see you then. Okay, before we begin, I have tried to write down how the letters sound phonetically, but on some of them it is really difficult. So I suggest you get yourself a paper and pen, write down the alphabet, and then write next to it what you hear. Especially if you already know other foreign languages, you may come up with a better sound than the one that I've written down. But let's start. The first letter A, and words that begin with a letter would be Apfel or Adler. B, wie Baby, Bruder. C, Celsius, begins with C. D, of course, der, die, das, begin with D. E, the elephant. F, fish, begins with F. G, Giraffe, Garten, they begin with G. H, wie Hase. I, wie Insel. J, wie Jacke. K, Katze, begins with K. L, wie Löwe. M, wie Mutter. And that's the first part of the alphabet. I'll go through it again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. And we cover the next lot in the next video. Ready for part 2? Here we go. N, as in nest. O, as in Oma, Opa. P, Parkplatz. Q, as in Qualle, Kuh. R, as in Rucksack. S, as in 7. T, Tiger. U, as in Uhr. V, as in Vogel. W, as in Wal. X, as in Xylophone, which starts with X. Ypsilon, Ypsilon. Not too many German words start with Ypsilon. We've got Yvonne here. But of course, a lot of English words, lots of English names end in Ypsilon. So you may well need it, depending on what your name is. Z. It's a bit like a TS. Z. Zebra. Z. So here we have the second part again. N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And before we move on to the extra letters, we do a little bit of a listening exercise, which you can do in the next video. For our first listening exercise, we won't need the extra letters yet, because these are 5 English towns and 5 American states, which I will spell to you in German. They don't have any extra German letters in it, but you never know, you may need to spell in Germany the name of the town or the state where you're coming from. So pause the video, get a pen and paper, make sure you sit nice and comfortably, and listen to the words. I will say them twice each time, but if that's not enough, feel free to rewind it over and over and over again until you think you've got it, and only then can you go and check in the next lecture to see if you were right. So don't worry if you need to listen to it more than twice. It doesn't matter. Okay, first word. B, A, T, H. And I repeat. B, A, T, H. Second word. L, O, N, D, O, N. And I repeat. L, O, N, D, O, N. Third word, bit longer. M, A, N, C, H, E, S, T, E, R. And I'll do that a little bit slower. M, A, N, C, H, E, S, T, E, R. And the next word. L, I, V, E, R, P, O, L. And I repeat. L, I, V, E, R, P, O, L. And the last English place. B, I, R, M, I, N, G, H, A, M. And I repeat, B, I, R, M, I, N, G, H, A, M. And the 5 American states. The first one, F, L, O, R, I, D, A. And I repeat, F, L, O, R, I, D, A. The second one, T, E, X, A, S. I bet that was nice and easy, but I'll repeat it. T, E, X, A, S. The next one, V, Y, O, M, I, N, G. And I repeat, V, Y, O, M, I, N, G. And the next one, A, R, I, Z, O, N, A. And I repeat, A, R, I, Z, O, N, A. And the last one, C, O, N, N, E, C, T, I, C, U, T. And I repeat, C, O, N, N, E, C, T, I, C, U, T. Like I said before, listen as many times as you like, paying attention to the 4 really tricky letters, the A and the R, because A is R and the R is R, and the I and the E, which people get mixed up. I is E and E is E. If you think you've got the words, then check in the next lecture to see if you were right. And let me know in the discussion forum as well. It would be nice to hear I've got 10 out of 10. Now we come to the extra 4 letters that we don't have in the English alphabet, but we do have in the German alphabet. And the first one is Ä, or A umlaut. Now it was really difficult to find anything to write it phonetically, so in the end I decided not to. And the good news is, if you needed to spell a word with an A umlaut, you can actually say a umlaut. Sometimes even Germans do it, but most of the time they will say what the letter is. So it's ä. The other one is O umlaut or O umlaut or Ö. Ö. Not O, but Ö. Then we have the U umlaut or U umlaut, which is Ü. Ü. There isn't really that much difference, is there? U, Ü. But there is. And the last one, the funny letter that looks like a capital B, but is actually an S sound, and it's called SZ. Sometimes you hear people call it scharfes S, because it is a sharp S sound, but most of the time people say SZ. And those are the 4 extra letters. Ä, Ö, Ü, SZ. Like I said before, if you need to use them, you can say A umlaut, O umlaut, U umlaut. SZ is not a problem. But you may still hear it as, and I'll say it once more, Ä, Ö, Ü, and SZ. Have a go at the listening exercise in the next lecture and see how you get on. For this listening exercise, I will give you 6 German towns. One doesn't have an umlaut in it, but some may have more than 1 extra letter. And to make it really difficult for you, I'm not going to say A umlaut or anything like this. I will say Ä, Ö, Ü, and SZ. Let's see how you get on. The first word. N, Ü, R, N, B, E, R, G. And I repeat. N, Ü, R, N, B, E, R, G. The second one. N, E, U, S, Ä, SZ. I repeat that one. N, E, U, S, Ä, SZ. And the next one. O, S, N, A, B, R, Ü, C, K. O, and that was a repeat already, sorry. O, S, N, A, B, R, Ü, C, K. And the next word. D, O, N, A, U, W, Ö, R, T, H. And I repeat that one. D, O, N, A, U, W, Ö, R, T, H. And the next one. H, O, Y, E, R, S, V, E, R, D, A. And I repeat. H, O, Y, E, R, S, V, E, R, D, A. And the last one. L, Ö, SZ, N, I, T, Z. And I repeat. L, Ö, SZ, N, I, T, Z. They were a lot harder than the first lot, don't you think? But you never know, somebody may need to spell a German word to you one day, and it may just have one of the umlauts or the SZ letter in it. Like I said before, if you need to listen to it again, go ahead. Nobody's counting how many times. And if you think you've got the letters or you're really stuck, then go and check the next lecture to see whether you were right or not. And let me know in the discussion. I'd love to hear it. Okay, now we come to some extras. Der Bindestrich, which is a hyphen. Now you may have a double-barrel name. If you were called Smith Jones with a hyphen in between, you would spell it like S-M-I-T-H Bindestrich J-O-N-E-S. So I've just spelled Smith and then mentioned the word Bindestrich, which is a hyphen, and then Jones. Doppel. Now, quite often in English, if we have a double L or double T, we don't say LL, TT, we just say double L, double T, double A. In German, very often we just say TT, AA, PP. Or people also use the word Doppel. So Doppel P would be a double P, Doppel L would be a double L. Just be very careful. Doppel U is not a W. Doppel U would actually be UU. Remember, W is V, so don't get those mixed up. Apostrophe, the apostrophe. Now you don't normally have it in names, well, not surnames or anything, but it may come up in a name. Neues Wort, new word. Say, for instance, you lived at Land's End and you had to spell it. You would need to say L-A-N-D apostrophe S neues Wort E-N-D, because Lands is with an apostrophe and Land's End is two words, so we would need an apostrophe and the new word bit as well. So one of the questions are mentioned, wie schreibt man das? How does one write it? So if I'd introduced myself to somebody and said, mein Name ist Angelika Davy, and they then said, wie schreibt man das? This is what I would say. A-N-G-E-L-I-K-A A, neues Wort, D, A, V, E, Y. And there it is. Bitte buchstabieren Sie. Please spell. Sometimes you get that, sometimes you're being asked, wie schreibt man das? Sometimes they even say, wie buchstabiert man das? So if I said I live in Wiltshire in England, I would spell it like this. And if you like, get a pen and paper and try writing it down as well. And I'll give you the answers again in a minute. So I want Wiltshire and England. And I would start W, I, L, T, S, H, I, R, E, neues Wort, E, N, G, L, A, N, D. Did you get it? There we are. Wiltshire, England. Und wie heißen Sie? Bitte buchstabieren Sie. This is the end of this video, and you'll start to make sure that you know how to spell your name, and maybe even practice where you come from. And now a little bit about email addresses. My email address would be meine E-Mail-Adresse ist, and then you would start spelling it. And then you probably get stuck on a couple of symbols. So, what could they be? At. Luckily the Germans call it that as well, although they pronounce it more like et. So whereas we say at, they say et. Punkt is the dot. So .de would be .de or .uk. Minus. Now the hyphen in an email address is not Bindestrich, it's minus because it's like the minus sign. If you have an underscore in your email address, then you need to say Unterstrich. Unterstrich. If everything is in lower cases, you would say alles klein geschrieben. Literally means everything spelled little. Alles klein geschrieben. And if it's all in capital letters, alles groß geschrieben. Just as an aside, do you see the SZ letter? It's not a B, it's the SZ. Alles groß geschrieben. Wie ist Ihre E-Mail-Adresse? What's your email address? I made one up, and I'm going to spell it to you. If you want to pause the video and get yourself pen and paper, see if you can write down what I'm spelling to you, and I'll show it to you afterwards. Okay, meine E-Mail-Adresse ist A, W, E, S, O, M, E, Unterstrich, A, N, G, E, L, I, K, A, at, U, D, E, M, Y, Punkt, D, E. And I'll repeat that one. A, W, E, S, O, M, E, Unterstrich, A, N, G, E, L, I, K, A, at, U, D, E, M, Y, Punkt, D, E. You think you've got it? That's what it was. And I'd just like to emphasize again, this is not a real email address, even if I would like it to be like that. Wie ist Ihre E-Mail-Adresse? Bitte buchstabieren Sie. This is over to you now. This is the end of this video, and it's time for you to write down your email address and practice spelling it. Have fun! If you're interested in the international alphabet, you know, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, etc., you may like to know that there is a German version as well, which I'll briefly go through with you. Anton, Bertha, Cäsar, Dora, Emil, Friedrich, Gustav, Heinrich, Ida, Julius, Kaufmann, Ludwig, Martha, Nordpol, Otto, Paula, Quelle, Richard, Samuel, Theodor, Ulrich, Viktor, Wilhelm, Xantippe, Y, Zacharias. And we have the extra letters: Ärger, Ökonom, Übermut, SZ, or as it's also called, scharfes S. So if you ever have to spell anything and you don't like to use the letters A, B, C, and you like the spelling alphabet, then use this one. Either way, you should be able to do it. And we'll practice a bit more. In this listening exercise, we will use the spelling alphabet. So I won't say A, B, C, I will say Anton, Bertha, or whichever word I need. So are you ready? If not, pause the video, get yourself pen and paper, and see how much you can get. Okay, first word. Ludwig, Emil, Richard, Nordpol, Emil. And I repeat, Ludwig, Emil, Richard, Nordpol, Emil. And the second word. Dora, Emil, Ulrich, Theodor, Samuel, Cäsar, Heinrich. And I repeat that word. Dora, Emil, Ulrich, Theodor, Samuel, Cäsar, Heinrich. The third word is very short. Bertha, Emil, Ida. Now repeat that one. Bertha, Emil, Ida. And the last word, Ulrich, Dora, Emil, Martha, Y. And I repeat that one. Ulrich, Dora, Emil, Martha, Y. Have you got the words? Have a look in the next lecture to see if you are right. Welcome to an extra session. I thought I'll give you an extra practice lesson, and as it's December, these are going to be seasonal words. All the words I'm going to spell out to you in a minute will be words that you will hear a lot in Germany during December. So my apologies if you come to this lecture in July. You may want to then delete it or avoid it, really. But at the moment, it's very topical. The first word I'm going to spell to you is only 3 letters, and it starts with E. Now think back in the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. So the first letter E, and the second one is E. So the first one was E, the second one is E, and the last one S. And I'll repeat them again. E, E, S. Second word starts with S, which is nice and easy. S, C, H, N, and the tricky letter again, E, and another one, E. S, C, H, N, E, E. The next word is quite a long one, and it starts with A. Now remember, quite often people get the A and the R mixed up, but A is A. A. The next letter, D, Vowel, E, again, watch out, E, N, T, S, K, R, be careful with this one, I'll say it again, R, followed by A, N, Z. And I'll say the whole word again. A, D, V, E, N, T, S, K, R, A, N, Z. And the last word from the first lot, N, E, watch out again, E, it's that one, K, O, L, A, U, watch out for that one as well, U, S. And I'll repeat that one, N, E, K, O, L, A, U, S. If you're still struggling, pause the video for a minute, because I'm about to show you what the words were. If you're ready for it, then carry on. So the first word was ice, which is ice. E, E, S. So we've got the tricky letters of the E and the I in there. The next word was Schnee, which is snow. only tricky ones, I think, would have been the E, but I will spell it again while you see it in front of you. S, C, H, N, E, E. The next one is Adventskranz, which is the wreath that people put on their tables with 4 candles on it for the 4 Sundays before Christmas. And I'll spell it out again. A, D, V, E, N, T, S, K, R, A, N, Z. Really tricky ones, I think, were the R, A. And the last one is Nikolaus. You will hear a lot of German children talk about Nikolaus at the beginning of December, because St. Nicholas Day is on the 6th and they usually get some sweets. N, I, K, O, L, A, U. That was a tricky one. We've had an O, A, U. We even had an E in there as well. Do you like to hear some more? Well, listen to the next lot. 3 words slightly longer. The first word. V, E, I, H, N, A, C, H, T, S, B, A, U, M. Very long word, and I will spell it out again. V, E, I, H, N, A, C, H, T, S, B, A, U, M. Don't worry if you need to rewind. Even I can't say it now properly in English. The video, if you do need to hear me spell the word out again, listen to it as many times as you like. The next word. G, E, S, C, H, E, N, K, E. I'll say that one again. G, E, S, C, H, E, N, K, E. And the last one for this lot. S, U. Now be careful with that one. It's U and not U. I'll say it again. U. SZ. Now the last 2 letters, U and SZ, were of those extra special letters. That's the hint I give you. It carries on. I, G, K, E, I, T, E, N. And I say the whole word again in one go. Well, I won't say it yet, I'll spell it out. S, U, S, Z, I, G, K, E, I, T, E, N. And these were the words I just spelled you. Weihnachtsbaum, which is a Christmas tree, and I read it out to you as W, E, I, H, N, A, C, H, T, S, B, A, U, M. The next word I spelled out was Geschenke, which means presents. G, E, S, C, H, E, N, K, E. And the last word was Süßigkeiten, which is sweets. And it had S, and then it had Ü, the U umlaut, SZ, the funny S letter, I, G, K, E, I, T, E, N. And I'll do 2 more phrases that you will hear a lot in December in Germany. You ready to listen? The first phrase consists of 2 words. The first one starts with großes F, because I actually forgotten to mention we need to start these words with a capital letter. So F, R, watch out for that one again, R, Ö, Ö, that's another one of those special letters, H, L, I, C, H, E. And I'll say that word again, F, R, Ö, H, L, I, C, H, E. Neues Wort, because we start a new word. Großes W. Again, we're starting with a capital letter. W. E. I. H. N. A. C. H. T. E. N. And I'll repeat that word again. W. E. I. H. N. A. C. H. T. E. N. And the final phrase consists of 3 words. The first word, F, R, watch out again, R, O, H, E, S. I'll say that one again, and that should start with a capital letter as well. So großes F, R, O, H, E, S. Neues Wort, because we're starting a new word. N, E, U, E, S. So a nice few vowels in there. N, I'll say it again, sorry. N, E, U, E, S. Neues Wort. We start our final word. Großes J. So again, we start with a capital letter, J. A, watch out for that one again. A, H, R. So the last word again, J, A, H, R. And these were the phrases I just said to you. Fröhliche Weihnachten, which is Merry Christmas. And I'll spell it out again so you can actually watch the letters. F, R, Ö, H, L, I, C, H, E. Neues Wort. W, E, I, H, N, A, C, H, T, E, N. And the last phrase was Frohes Neues Jahr, which is Happy New Year. And I'll spell it out again. F, R, O, H, E, S. Neues Wort. N, E, U, E, S. Neues Wort. J, A, H, R. As I said at the beginning of the lecture, these are very seasonal words and phrases you would hear lots of times in Germany during December, which is the month I'm just making this video. It may sound very strange to listen to this in March, July, October. If you're watching the videos then, ignore them if you like. Press the little button and turn it green, or come back to it next Christmas. I hope you enjoyed this while you listen to it in December. Are you ready for another listening exercise? How about an A to Z of abbreviations? The following words, well, they're not words, are they? Abbreviations I will read to you. I've got them in alphabetical order, so you have one advantage. You know the first letter, but you won't know any of the other ones. They're all German companies or things that are used in Germany. There is one Austrian term in there as well, actually two. And there is even one with an umlaut. It's the only one I could find that I could use. So you got pen and paper. Are you ready? If not, pause your video for a minute. Get yourself all ready and let's start. So the first one starts with an A. And the letters are A, D, A, C. ADAC. And the word was, or the letters were, ADAC, which is a German automobile club. ADAC. The next one, BMW. BMW. And that is the BMW. BMW. Next one. CDU. CDU. And that is a political party in Germany, the CDU. Next one. DVD. DVD. And you most likely have got quite a few of those because that was a DVD. DVD. EU. Just 2 letters. EU. And that, of course, is the European Union. EU. FDP. FDP. And that is another political party, the FDP. GmbH. GmbH. And that are the initials for a limited company. So instead of an LTD, the Germans use GmbH. HSV. HSV. And football fans will recognize this as the Hamburger Sportverein. HSV. ISBN. ISBN. And you will have all seen those initials, which is the International Standard Book Number, ISBN. JVG. JVG. And that's a JWG, which is a Youth Welfare Law. Jugendwohlfahrtsgesetz. KÖSTV. I'll repeat this one, sorry. Careful with this one. STV. And that was an Austrian term, and that's the one with the umlaut. Katholisch, I can't remember what it's called now. Katholischer Österreichischer Studentenverein or Verband. It's a Catholic Austrian student organization. So KÖSTV. An easier one again. LKW. LKW. And that stands for Lastkraftwagen, which is just another word for a lorry. LKW. MAN. MAN. Looks like an English word, but it's of course a logistic company in Germany. NDR. NDR. And that is a TV channel, NDR. ORF. ORF. And that is another TV channel, P, C. Very short. P, C. And you're most likely sitting in front of one right now. Your PC, your personal computer. Q, V, C. I was really pleased to find some abbreviations with a Q. Q, V, C. And that is a shopping channel which also exists on German TV. So QVC in German is QVC. R, T, L. R, T, L, which is another TV channel. S, P, D. S, P, D. And that is another political party in Germany, the SPD. T, V, G. T, V, G. And those initials were TVG, which is a wage agreement law. U, S, B. U, S, B. And you probably have one or two of those lying around. Your USB sticks. Or the socket. Short one. V, V. V, V. And that, of course, is your VW. VDR. VDR. And that's another TV's channel. VDR. I struggled a bit to get something for X and Y, but I did manage it. 2 letters, X, L. X, L. And that, of course, is extra large, just in case you need to buy a jumper or a t-shirt. Ypsilon, C. Ypsilon, C. And that stands for Yacht Club or Yacht Club. And the final one, ZDF. ZDF. And that is another TV channel. How did you do? Was it hard or was it easy? Let me know. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Google Translate to help you with your German spelling practice. Of course, it works with any other language as well, but we're looking at the German. So the first thing you do is, when you've gone onto Google Translate, you make sure that the first button is not your language, but German. because this is the only box we're interested in. We're not interested in the translation or anything else. And you probably already know that if you type a word in, like I've just done there, and you press on the listening button, Google will actually read it to you. There we are. That doesn't help us with the spelling. But watch this. I'm putting a gap between each individual letter. Now listen.
H-U-N-D.
H-U-N-D. That's how you can practice. If I put something else in there, my name. Now this is good. I can show you something here because I've just spelled my name wrong. I didn't put a capital letter in there. That is not important. But I've put an F in there by accident instead of the G. And at the bottom you can see it comes up with show in translation for Angelika, which it should really be, or translate instead that. Now if I'm not interested in the translation, I'm just interested in the pronunciation, let's go for that one. So now Google has accepted that, and it will now spell out my name even with the wrong letter. Let's see, or shall I say let's listen.
A-N-F-E-L-I-K-A.
A-N-F-E-L-I-K-A. But I would like my name spelled properly, so let's try again. That should now say A-N-G-E-L-I-K-A.
A-N-G-E-L-I-K-A.
There we are. Let's try another letter, another word. Let's try a longer one. Just always make sure you put the gap in between, otherwise it will not accept it. Let's see how it spells this. It should say B-L-U-M-E-N-T-O-P-F.
B-L-U-M-E-N-T-O-P-F.
There we are. So now if you fancy a bit of practicing, you can type any word in there that you want to practice. It should even work with English words, any words. What can we put in there? What did I read there? I think I read the word support earlier on, so let's put support in there. And it should still spell it in German. It should now say S-U-P-P-O-R-T.
S-U-P-P-O-R-T.
See? Last one. And this should say U-D-E-M-Y.
U-D-E-M-Y.
So now if you have a few minutes spare time and you fancy a little bit of practicing, but you have got nobody there who can actually tell you how these words are spelled out, type them into Google Translate, make sure you leave a gap in between, and then say it yourself. So in this case go U-D-E-M-Y and then press on the listening button.
U-D-E-M-Y.
Oh, that was nice and slow, wasn't it? You also know whether you said it right or wrong. Happy practicing! In this video, we're going to look at the vowels A, E, I, O, U, or A, E, I, O, U, and also the three umlauts E, Ö, and Ü. Let's start with A. The A sound is long, as in A, then it is followed by a single consonant that would belong to the next syllable if separated, like Magen. So the next syllable is the Gen, Magen. If it is doubled, as in Staat, and if it's followed by an H, as in Ja, the H usually makes it a long sound. So Magen, Staat, Ja. It's short if it is followed by a double consonant, like nass. If it's followed by two or more different consonants, as in Stadt. And if it appears in a common one-syllable word followed by a single consonant, like ab. Now, as with everything else that I will be covering in all these videos, there are exceptions, or some exceptions, especially when they are foreign words that have been taken on by the German language. But these rules will apply in most situations. Right, have a think. These words, I'm not reading them out yet. Do they have a long ah sound or a short one? Now you can either get a piece of paper and quickly scribble the words down, or just make it a tick list, you know, yes, no. Or you can do it in your head, or you can also download the little booklet where I've printed out all those little exercises. So you would only need to print it out once, and then you can just sit there and tick your boxes. Anyway, I'm going to reveal the answers. If you're not ready, then pause. But the first word is Fahrt, and that's a long one. Kaffee, short. Flasche, short. Bahnhof, long. Und Saat. Did you get them? If you're not too sure, go back to the first two bits and check why those words are long or short. Now the same rules apply to ä. So if the A has an umlaut, the rules are still the same. So what about these then? Are they long ä sounds or short ones? And again, I will reveal the answer, so please pause if you're not ready. Käse, which is long. Kännchen, short. Währung. Nässe. Bäcker. Well done if you've got that. Now you've got the same idea with the E sound. It's long if it is followed by a single consonant that would belong to the next syllable if separated. Weg. Now, if we separated that, if it was a longer one, it would have been Wege. That's probably a bit easier to recognize. If it is doubled, Bed. And again, if it's followed by an H, Ehre. It's short if it is followed by a double consonant, Bet, followed by two or more different consonants, Westen, and it appears in common one-syllable word followed by a single consonant, like er. Now, E at the end of a word usually does get pronounced. So no silent E as in English, but it is a short E. So Ente, Bohne, Frage. Not very long sounds, but they are there. So is this a long E sound or a short one? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. And I'm about to reveal the answer, so again pause the video if you're not done. Sechs, that's short. Flasche, that's the short E at the end. Meer, Fenster und Meer. So both those two words are pronounced the same, but the sea or the ocean is spelled with a double E, and if you want a bit more of it, it's EH. Now, E at the end of a word, as I said, usually gets pronounced, and there is no silent E. There's a slight exception in spoken German when you're talking about yourself. You remember, you most likely will have learned that in verb conjugations, the ending for ich is I. So it would be ich esse, ich trinke, ich fahre, ich gehe, ich kaufe. In spoken German, we very often don't bother. And the E gets sort of swallowed. If you're writing it, you would need, if you're writing spoken German, as in you're writing a story and he said, she said, then you would write that with an apostrophe because that it is instead of the E. So ich ess, ich hab, ich mach. You hear that a lot. And if the E is in the final EN of a word, it doesn't get pronounced, or hardly really. So we've got here, I say it properly, einen schwarzen. And yes, you may hear it, wir trinken einen schwarzen Tee. But you most likely hear it more like, wir trinken einen schwarzen Tee. If you noticed, you hardly hear the E. Sounds a lot nicer, really, doesn't it? I. The I sound is long, you've heard this, when it's followed by a single consonant that would belong to the next syllable if separated. Igel. Igel, eagle. If it's doubled, no, not with the I. And if it's followed by an H, like ihre, ihren, ihr. And it's short when it's followed by a double consonant, like bitte, is followed by two or more different consonants, winter, and it appears in common one-syllable words, followed by a single consonant, like in. Your turn again, long or short? What do you think? And again, I will reveal the answer. Irland, illegal, sitzen, ihnen, ihres. Did you get those? Well done if you did. If you're not too sure, check again what the last two bits said about the I. Oh, and again it's the same role. Same role, same rule. The O sound is long when it's followed by a single consonant that would belong to the next syllable if separated. Vogel. If you were to separate that, it would be Vogel. If it's doubled, Boot. And if it's followed by an H, Ohren. Probably guess the rules when it's short. It's followed by a double consonant, kommen. It's followed by two or more different consonants, optimal. And one-syllable words, op. Your turn again. Long O or short? O or O? And I give you the answer. Offen, which is short. Ohnmacht. Otter. Ober. Zoo. And of course all these rules also apply to Ö. So what do you think about these words? long Ö or a short one? And here's the answer. Öffnen, Körper, Höhle, Lösung, Mönch. We've seen this before, haven't we? The U sound is long when it's followed by a single consonant that would belong to the next syllable if separated. Beruf. It's doubled? Nope. And if it is followed by an H, as in Uhr. And we now know when it's short, a double consonant followed is Mutter. It's followed by two or more different ones, Urlaub. And it appears in a common one-syllable word, followed by a single consonant, But I just said we don't have two U's. We do sometimes, but those are in two different syllables or even in compound words. Like Anschauung, Trauung. So it's not a U, long U sound. It's not Anschauung. You couldn't even say it. Or Trauung. It's Anschauung. I deliberately separate those so that you can hear it. Trauung and Bauunternehmen. That is actually a compound noun made out of two words, Bau and Unternehmen. Your turn. Long U or short U sound? And here's the answer. Und, Abgrund, Butter, Volumen, Buch. And yes, the same applies to Ü. Is it a long or a short one? And here's the answer again. Brücke, Führung, Füttern, München, Glückwünsche. And for a little bit of fun, I found this on Facebook. It says Umlauts save lives. Just look at the first sentence. Der Junge futtert die Meerschweinchen mit Salat. Or der Junge füttert die Meerschweinchen mit Salat. Füttern with the umlaut means to feed, whereas futtern is colloquial for eating. It's highly unlikely that the boy is eating the guinea pigs with lettuce. It's more likely he's feeding the guinea pigs with lettuce. And for a bit more fun, some tongue twisters. If you are worried, I'm not reading them out too fast because I can't do that either. But here we have a lot of A's in there. Herr von Hagen, darf ich's wagen, Sie zu fragen, welchen Kragen Sie getragen, als Sie lagen krank am Magen in der Stadt zu Kopenhagen. Das Weinfass, das Frau Weber leerte, verheerte ihre Leberwerte. Oma kocht Opa Kohl, Opa kocht Oma Kohl, doch Opa kocht Oma Rosenkohl. Oma dagegen kocht Opa Rotkohl. Just a bit of fun, but a nice bit of practice to get used to the sounds. Hear a lot of A's and E's and O's. And there's another one. Wenn Rumkugeln herumkugeln, Kugeln rumkugeln, rumkugeln, herum. Phew. And the last bit of fun. There's something unusual about this word, Magermilchjoghurt. It's not something that is so unusual in English. English has got several words which have got this, but in German, as far as I know, this is the only German word, somebody will probably prove me wrong now, that has got the vowels in the right order in the word. It's got an A in it, it's got an E, followed by the I, followed by the O, and the U. And on that note, I'll finish this video. Continuing with the vowels, in this video we're looking at the diphthongs, or the two vowels together. And the first vowel combination is EU, which is pronounced oi, just like the English, oi. So we have Euro, Zeuge, beugen. The next one is A and U, which is au. Haus, Baum, Traum. Au. Now, A with an umlaut and the U is pronounced exactly the same as the EU, so it's oi again. But the origin of A umlaut U or EU words differ. It's just the pronunciation is the same. And if you look at the words, we have Bäume, Häuser, Träumen. You can see the origin because we've just had them in the AU slide. Baum, Haus, Traum. So Baum is one tree, Bäume is more than one tree. So the oi sound has really got to be the A umlaut and not an EU because it doesn't come from Bäum, it comes from Baum. Ah, my favourite, IE. Now for English speakers, or for native English speakers, shall I say, that's easy to recognise because the pronunciation is the last letter in English. Now here that's an E, so the IE in German is pronounced E, as in vier, fliege, spielen, alarmieren. Words ending in IE, some of them are pronounced E, others aren't. That's just something you would need to learn. So these are still pronounced like the E sound. Zeremonie, Fotokopie, Strategie, Knie. But some other words, they are pronounced E. So it's almost like the two letters are pronounced separately. So we have Aktie, Aktie, Familie, Linie, Serie, Knie. Didn't we just have that word? And you're absolutely right. I just told you that that word is pronounced Knie. And now I'm telling you it's Knie. That's because Knie is one knee and Knie means it's plural. Although sometimes people pronounce the plural as Knie as well. And if the word ends in en, that often includes plurals, it is pronounced en. So Spanien, we've got some countries here, Albanien, Aktien, remember we already had Aktie, and Familien, and we had Familie. So your turn. Is it an E sound or is it an ear sound? Pause the video if you haven't finished, because I'm about to reveal the answer. Kastanie, Klavier, Tragödie, Kopie, Kopien. Well done if you got those. And now we've got the two letters the other way around, not IE, but EI. And again, a tip for native English speakers, it's the I, the English I pronunciation. Arbeit, drei, Polizei, Bücherei. AI is also pronounced as I. Hai, Mai, Kaiser. Your turn. How do you pronounce all these words? Have a go before I read them to you. You ready to hear it? The first word, Arbeitsgebiet. Yeah, we've got the EI first, and the second one is the IE. So Arbeitsgebiet. Same in the next one, Beispiel. Betriebszeit. Fliegerei. Liebelei. Siezerei. Vielleicht. Trainieren. Now, that is a foreign word that's been Germanized. So the IE is not trainieren. That's stayed in the original language, so it's trainieren. But the next two words, we've got Seite and Seite. The spelling is different because that tells us which Seite we're talking about. The first one with the AI is a string, Seite. The second one with the EI is a page, Seite. The context of the sentence or the sentences would tell you which one you're talking about. Right, let's start with the consonants, and in this video we're looking at B, D and F, or shall I say B, D, F. Sound pretty similar, don't they? B. At the end of a word or a syllable, it sounds a bit more like an English P. It's a bit of a sharp one. Lob, abholen, hab, gib, ob. But when it's no longer at the end of a word or a syllable, then it sounds like the English B. Haben, ober, halbe, geben. So is it a B sound or is it more like a P sound? What do you think? Pause if you're not ready, but this is how you pronounce those words. Urlaub, schreiben, Club, Bankraub, schreib auf, so schreib. Nearly all of these had the P sound rather than the B. D. Sort of similar thing. If it's at the end of a word or a syllable, it sounds more like an English T. Lied, Freund, Land. But if it's not at the end of the word, it's more like the English D. Lieder, Freunde, Länder. Do you notice the difference? The first one, Lied, and then Lieder. Freund, Freunde. Land, Länder. Sometimes you see words with a DT, and that's always pronounced like a T. So Stadt, zugesandt, Bewandtnis. But sometimes you find a DT inside a word, but it actually only happened because it's a compound word and it consists of, well, we've got two in here. It consists of two words where the first one ends in a D and the second one just happens to start with a T. In that case, they do get pronounced separately. Abendtafel, Sandtorte. So it's not the connection, not the DT sound, it just happens to be put together. Your turn. T sound or a D sound? And this is what these words sound like. Landschaft, Landschaft, Hunde, Geld, Abend, Verwandter. F. That's as in English. Familie, Seife, Schlaf. But there's one change in the word doof, stupid. Now, you heard it correctly, doof. It's got the F at the end. But if we're adding something to doof, like we have here, because the word doof is in front of the noun Hund, so we added an ER, and it changes the pronunciation. Dover. It sounds like a V. Dover. Ein dover Hund. That's the only word where it changes. And some tongue twisters. Bürsten mit schwarzen Borsten bürsten besser als Bürsten mit blauen Borsten. Der dicke Dachdecker deckt dir dein Dach, drum dank dem Dachdecker, der dir dein Dach deckt. And my favorite one, because that's nice and easy. Wenn hinter Fliegen, 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 Fliegen nach. Move on to the next video or pause this to practice saying these yourself for a bit. Have fun. This video just covers one of the consonants, the letter G. And similar to what we've already had, if it's at the end of a word or a syllable, it sounds more like an English K. Ausflug, Anzug, Mag. It's not a proper K, it's more in that direction. So it's not Ausflug, Anzug, Mag. It's Ausflug, Anzug, Mag. And if it's not at the end of a word or a syllable, it sounds more like the English G, as in good or gone. Gut, Fliege, Geld, Vogel. Words ending in IG are pronounced like the German word ich. So it almost sounds like as if they were spelled ICH, but it's not. It's IG. Billig, 20, langweilig. Sometimes you may hear people saying billig, 20, langweilig, but usually it's billig, 20, langweilig. If, however, you're adding something to it, something is cheaper, then, just like the rule before, it's billiger. Der 20. Langweiliger. So it's gone back to the g sound. Of course, foreign words stick to the foreign pronunciation. Garage, Genie, Regisseur. So it's a bit like the ginger word in English. So your turn, quite a long one. Is it a g sound as in good? Is it an ich sound? Is it the k sound? Or is it a g like in ginger? As before, if you haven't had enough time yet, pause the video. If not, here are the answers. Klug. There's your k sound at the end. Ruhig. Genial. Careful with that one because it's not genial or anything. It's a German word genial, but Etage. Gnome und genug. And there we have two G's in there. G as in the beginning, and the end one is more like a K. Genug. I've once written a blog post about the three-letter W-E-G, because if it means the path and it's just a word on its own, it's Weg. But if it's a prefix, it's Weg. And you can find it on YouTube, but I've added it here as the next video as well, so you can watch that. But before you do that, here is another tongue twister. And I may not be able to say that very fast either. Grießbrei bleibt Grießbrei und Kriegsbeil bleibt Kriegsbeil. Kriegsbeil bleibt Kriegsbeil und Grießbrei bleibt Grießbrei. Whew. If you can't say it, don't worry. I find them hard enough as it is myself. I'll see you in the next video. Those three little letters, W, E, G. In German, when do you pronounce them as Weg and when as Weg? That is the question we're covering here. And the first one is Weg. Now you can see it's been written with a capital W because it's a noun, der Weg. Der Weg means the way, the path, could be the alley, the journey, sometimes even the road. But I think the way is probably the best one. Der Weg, so long E sound. There are a few compound nouns. I've got two. Der Wegweiser, so again it's Weg because it's a sign, the sign that shows you the way. Der Wegweiser. Der Wegbegleiter. Now that is your companion, which could be a man, a woman, which in that case would be Wegbegleiterin, die Wegbegleiterin. It could be an animal, could be a dog who may be following you, walking with you on your way. Now, W-E-G not written with a capital letter. It's not a noun. It's a prefix of a verb, and not just one verb. There are quite a few, and I still haven't written them all down. This time it's pronounced weg. So it's a short E and almost like a K sound, weg. So, which verbs start with weg? First lot. Wegbekommen. To remove something, to get rid of something. I've put something on my table and now I don't know how to get rid of it again. Wie bekomme ich es weg? Wegbleiben, to stay away. Wegbringen, to take away. This is not a take away, it's to take away. As in, ich bringe die Flaschen weg. I take the bottles away. Wegdenken. Have you ever thought of something or you've seen something and all of a sudden this thought is in your head and you can't get rid of it, but you want to? So you're thinking of something else to make sure this thought goes away? Well, we Germans call it wegdenken, because denken is to think. Wegdrücken, to push something away. Wegekeln. Now, ekel as a noun is disgust, or something disgusting. And wegekeln is to behave disgustingly or nastily until that person that you want to get rid of walks away, moves away, goes away. Not a very nice word, really. Wegessen. Now that's to eat something up and not leaving anything behind. Wo ist der Kuchen? Ach, den habe ich weggegessen. Sorry, that cake's gone. I've eaten all of it. Wegfahren, to drive away. Wegfegen, to sweep away. So to sweep is fegen. And if you're sweeping something away, then it's wegfegen. Wegfliegen, to fly away. Somewhere nice, I hope. Wegführen, to lead away. Und weggeben, to give something away. Ich habe meine CDs weggegeben. I've given my CDs away. No, I haven't, but... Weggucken, or wegblicken, wegschauen, to look away. Weghören. There is no verb for that in English. But say you're in a room with several people and you actually wanted to discuss a little birthday surprise, but the person in question is still in the room and you want them to not listen to what you're doing. So in German you could say, hör mal bitte eben weg. Which of course doesn't work at all, because if anybody says that to you, you'll be all ears. Oh, what are they saying? But that's the idea anyway. Wegjagen, to chase away. Wegkommen, to get away. Weglassen, to leave out. Like I may be laying the table and I'm leaving out the spoons because we won't need them. So I would say, ich lasse die Löffel weg. Weglaufen or wegrennen, to run away. Wegmachen. Now you wouldn't see that in written text, but in spoken German people saying it, which is to make away, literally, to remove something. Yeah, a child has made a mess and the mother says, mach den Dreck mal weg. Yeah, get rid of that dirt, that rubbish. Wegnehmen, to remove something, to take something. Wegoperieren. Now that's to have an operation when something then gets removed, like your tonsils. They would be wegoperieren. Wegpusten, to blow something away. Wegradieren, that's almost double, because radieren already means to erase something. But wegradieren, it just makes sure really you're erasing it until it's gone. Wegräumen, not just tidy things up, but to tidy them away. Wegrollen, to roll away. Wegrutschen, to slide away. Wegschicken, to send something away like a parcel. Wegschließen, to lock something away, to secure it. Wegschneiden, to prune something or to cut something off. Wegtragen, to carry something away. Wegwerfen, throw away. Wegwischen, wipe away or wipe off something. Und wegziehen is to move away. And we have a few phrases as well. They may come in useful one day. Geh weg, go away. Hände weg, or sometimes we say Finger weg. That's hands off. Kopf weg, mind your head. Und weg damit, get rid of it. So to put it all together again, if the three-letter word WEG in German means the way, then you pronounce it with a long E, Weg. If it means away, you pronounce it with a short E, Weg. I hope that made it a bit easier now. This time we're looking at the consonants H, J, K, L, M, N. It's quite a few in one video, but that's because they're almost the same as in English. Right, H. It doesn't get pronounced when after a long vowel sound. And we've already covered that in the vowel video. Fahren, Lehrer, ja. At the beginning of a word or a syllable is just like in English. Haus, Hamster, Bahnhof. So there is Haus and Hamster. It is actually like the English word. Bahnhof, we've got the first H because that makes it a long A sound. And then the second syllable, or actually a compound noun. It's just a word, Hof. So as in English. The letter H, of course, comes in lots of other combinations. CH, SCH, PH and TH. And I'm covering those in the videos with the letter C and S and P and T. The German J sounds like the English Y, as in yo-yo. And actually, if you look at the words in English, they would be spelled with a Y. So yo-yo, jodeln, Joghurt, ja. But English words in German starting with J have been Germanized insofar that if it's a verb, it may have German endings now, but they are still pronounced as in English. So joggen, jeans, job. So ich bin joggen gegangen. French words in German starting with J are pronounced like the French word journalist, journalistin, jalousie. So, is this a German J or a foreign J? Shall we find out? Hallelujah. It's a German J. Pyjama. Jäger. Jetlag. Jugend. The letter K. It sounds like a K, like in the English word cook. Kino, kalt, Kartoffel. Now, this is a strange one. I possibly should have added it in the last video with the letter G. It's not a word you'll see written down much because it's very colloquial, especially in the north of Germany, which is sort of to look, gucken. The strange thing is, it's usually spelled with a G, but it is like the K sound, so it's gucken. Nobody says gucken, it's always gucken. So when we had the spelling reform in 1995, 96 or whenever it was decided, as we're saying, koeken, it should be spelled with a K. But most people don't like it, and so the spelling reform said again, all right, okay. So nowadays you can spell it with a K, but nobody seems to do it. So you still find the word written with a G, but pronounced with a K. Koeken. So if you hear somebody saying, guck mal, look, they probably would have spelt it with a G. I just wanted to add that in here. KN. Unlike in English, we don't have a silent N. It gets pronounced. So it's Knie, Kneipe, Knopf. L. Now the German L is pronounced like the so-called front L, the English front L, as in lamp, not like the back L as in rattle. So Lampe, Apfel, sammeln, Teil or Teile. M, just like the English one. Mann, Musik, Name, im. No difference to the English. And the same applies to N. Nase, nicht, Tunnel, schneiden. Just like in English. NG, if you have an NG, that's sort of similar to the thing or bring in English. Zeitung, Hunger, Klingel, Frühling. And the same applies to NK. Dunkel, Bank, Onkel. You ready for a listening exercise? Oh, I haven't written any words down. Well, that's because if I had, you would know if this word is spelled with an NG or an NK. So I'm going to read out the words to you. You try and spell them and tell me or tell yourself, did that word have an NG or an NK? The first word, singen. I repeat, singen. The second word, sinken. Sinken. Number 3, Enkel. Enkel. Number 4, Engel. Engel. Number 5, dünken. Dünken. And the last one, düngen. Düngen. As you've noticed, they're all very similar, the two words each time. This is what I read out to you. The first word, singen, with an NG, which is to sing. Sinken, to sink. Actually exactly the same as in English, sing and sink. Enkel, which is a grandchild. Engel, which is an angel. Dünken, sort of to seem or think. And düngen is to fertilize. And some more tongue twisters before we finish. Hans hört hinterm Holzhaus Hubert Hansen heiser husten. Klitzekleine Kinder können keinen Kirschkern knacken. I like this one, because they all sound the same. Der Leutnant von Leuten befahl seinen Leuten nicht eher zu läuten, als der Leutnant von Leuten seinen Leuten das Läuten befahl. Wow. All you can hear is Leut, but look at the different spellings. And the last one. Hat die Maus die Mandeln und das Marzipan gemaust? Have a go yourself. Pause the video, try and say these things, or use the PDF and have a look at them again. And then I'll see you in the next video. Now let's have a look at the consonants P and Q. P on its own is just like the English P. Park, Platz, Alpen, Tipp. More tricky when you have a combination with P. PF. That's pronounced as one sound, so it's not preferred, it's pferd. So it's an F with a slight P in front of it, pferd, Pfeffer, Pfirsich. Good time for a listening exercise. Again, I'm going to give you 6 words, but do they start with a PF or do they start with an F? Are you ready for this? The first word, Pfund. Pfund. The second word, Pfund. Pfund. The next one, Flug. Flug. And then we have Flug. Flug. And for the last 2, Pfeil. Pfeil. And the last one, Pfeile. Pfeile. And here is the answer. So the first one was Pfund. Pfund with a PF, which is the pound. Pfund, just the F, which is a find. Flug, the flight. Flug is a plough. Pfeil is an arrow, and Pfeile is a file, like a nail file or anything. Now, if you didn't do it too well, remember that this exercise really is pretty artificial. I mean, who would be throwing words at you, Pfund, Pfund, Flug, Flug, Pfeil, Pfeile, and saying, how do you spell them? This is not how you do a conversation in German. And as I said before, it is the context of the sentences that you hear or see or read, which will give you an idea whether somebody's talking about a plough or a flight. PH. That's like the F in English, like in the word phrase. So Physik, Paragraph, Alphabet, Phrase. There's a little but, because we used to have more words spelled with a PH. Fotografie, Telefon, Elefant. But because they so obviously sound like an F, during the spelling reform in 1995, that's been changed. So nowadays, you'll find the words written as with an F. Fotografie, Telefon, Elefant. Depending on if you're reading a German book, even a German textbook, if it was written before 1995, it most likely will have the old spelling. It's just something to be aware of. PS. Unlike in English, there is no silent P. So it's Psychologie, Psalm, Pseudo-Anglizismus. So we do pronounce the P. Q. Q on its own, it's not used in German. It's always as the combination of QU. And That's pronounced like in English kv. So Quark, Qualle, Quer, Quittung. But foreign words might have the k sound. Boutique, pluck. Your turn. Is it a k sound or a kv sound? If you're not ready, pause the video. If you are ready, this is what the sounds are. Klicke, quetsche, bequem, Jacqueline, konsequent. And some tongue twisters. This one I won't be able to say very fast. Der Flugplatz Spatz nahm auf dem Flugplatz Platz. Auf dem Flugplatz nahm der Flugplatz Spatz Platz. Oh, this one is easier. Quatschende Quallen quälen, quirlige, quallende Quälquallen. I'll see you in the next video. In this video, we're looking at the consonants R and T, R und T. And before we even start, a quick question about the R. Is it rolled or not? People often hear this in war films, or sometimes in music. I think Rammstein are pretty good at rolling their R's, or at least sometimes. So the question is that what the Germans do or not? And the answer is yes and no. Some people do, some people don't. The further south you go in Germany, the more chance there is that you do hear people use it. In the north, it's not so much. I don't, so it's up to you. Let's have an easy one. An easy R is the one at the end of a word, together with an E, the ER together. And that's very easy to pronounce. It's just Vater, Mutter, Papier, Bier. Very important word, isn't it? So Vater, Mutter, Papier, Bier. Nice and easy. More difficult is any R that's in front of any vowel. Bruder, Bruder, Rot, Rot, Grün, Grün, drei, drei. Fancy practicing some tongue twisters? How about this one? Blaukraut bleibt Blaukraut, Brautkleid bleibt Brautkleid. Oh. Brauchbare Bierbrauerburschen brauen brausendes Braunbier. Der froschforschende Froschforscher forscht in der froschforschenden Froschforschung. You can always pause the video and practice this for a while, or we can move on to the letter T. Let's move on. Now the letter T on its own sounds just like the English T. Auto, Tür, gut. No difference there. Slightly more different is when you have a letter combination. Now the TH, although it exists in German, it is pronounced like a T, and we don't pronounce the H. So it's not like the English th. Actually, quite a few Germans are struggling with the English th, and they can't say it. So the words we have here, remember, it's just a T sound. Apotheke, Katharina, Methode, Theater. This is little but. In compound nouns, we sometimes get that one noun ends in a T and the next one starts with an H. So you do have the TH in there, but it's not a combination. And in that case, they do get pronounced separately. So gut haben. Well, not that slow. Gut haben. But it's those two separately. It's not the TH. Kredit high. Your turn. Do you pronounce these words with a T? Or is it the T and the H separately? Have a think. Pause the video if you're not ready. Otherwise, I will now reveal the answers. Katholik. Thailand. Mithilfe. There's your compound noun, Mithilfe. And the next one the same, Nachthemd. Rathaus. But the last one, Thermometer. Well done if you've got those. T-I-O-N. A lot of words end in T-I-O-N, and that's pronounced like Zion. So it's almost like a T-S or T-Z even, Zion. Adoption, Dokumentation, Funktion, Nation. TSCH is like the TCH in English, as in which. Deutsch, Quatsch, Tschüss. I love those ch sounds. TZ is as the English TS. So Blitz, Netz, Putzen, Spitze. And to just finish this video with a few more tongue twisters. Testtexte, Texten, Testtexter. Testtexter, Texten, Even I can't say it. Let me start again. Testtexte, Texten, Testtexter. Testtexter, Texten, Testtexter. There we are. If I do it slowly, it works. This one is easier. Glücklich ist der Tourist, wenn auf einer Tour ist und in einer Tour ist. That was nice and easy, wasn't it? I'll see you in the next video. In this video, we're looking at the consonants V, W, X, Y, Z, or in German, V, W, X, Y, Z. V. It's pronounced like an English F most of the times. So we have Vater, viel, vier, Vogel. But it can also be pronounced like a V. November, privat, Vase, Verb. What do you think? F or V? And I'm about to reveal the answers. Klavier, von, Vorschlag, Universität, Viertel, Bolivien. W, pronounced like the English V, so V, wo, Winter, wer, wie. Wirklich? Yes, really. X, so the X, Alexa, Text, Export. The Y, if it's used like a vowel, then it's pronounced like the U umlaut, Ü. Rhythmus, typisch, Gymnasium. If it's at the beginning or an end of a word, then it's pronounced like in English. If you look at those words, they're all English words. Baby, hobby, yoga, handy. So, Ü or not? Have a think. Ready for the answers? Okay. System, Analyse, City, Disney, Hydraulik, Typ. Z, it's pronounced like a TS, so ts, as in Zimmer, Toleranz, Zimt, zwei. But in foreign words, quiz, jazz, it's a bit softer. And some tongue twisters. This one is not too bad. 4 fünfmal vervierfacht macht mehr als 5 viermal verfünffacht. This one is easy as well. Wer nichts weiß und weiß, dass er nichts weiß, weiß mehr als der, der nichts weiß und nicht weiß, dass er nichts weiß. This one is a bit more tricky. Max wachst Wachsmasken. Was wachst Max? Wachsmasken wachst Max. And one more. And I don't think I'll be reading this one very fast. 12 zünftige Zipfelmützenzwerge, die auf 12 Tannenzapfen saßen, aßen 222 blaue Zwetschgen. Als sie die 222 Zwetschgen gegessen hatten, sagte Zwerg Zwuckel zu Zwerg Zwockel, mich zwickt's im Bauch. Darauf antwortete Zwerg Zwockel zu Zwerg Zwuckel, mich auch. I challenge you to say that without any mistakes, because as you noticed, even I can't do it. Have fun with it. In this video, we're going to look at the consonant S and the combinations of SK, SP, ST and SCH. First of all, the letter S on its own. If it's at the beginning of a word or a syllable, it sounds more like an English Z. So Sonne, Saft, Sie, zusammen. At the end of a word or a syllable, it's like an English S. House, it's almost the same pronunciation, just different spelling. Haus, Reise, arbeitslos, alles. So is this an English Z sound or an English S sound? If you got it, here are the answers. Sumpf, Auskunft, Saft, Supermarkt, Mais. So what about some combinations with the letter S? SCH, that's like the English SH, the sh sound. Schlaf, Fisch, komisch, Schnee. SK, we pronounce both letters. So Skelett, Skandal, Maske. A bit more pronounced is if it's again a compound noun, or a compound word in this case, which consists out of two words. The first one is ice and the second one is kalt. So here we pronounce them really separately. Eis, kalt, not eiskalt. Eis, kalt, in comparison to Skelett or Maske. But, there's one but, it's not skifahren, although you may hear people say it sometimes, it's Skifahren. So, one exception, Skifahren. SP, at the beginning of a word, it's like an English sp, like an SHP. Sport, spielen, sprechen. And I've also written down versprechen, although that's not the beginning of the word. It is actually the beginning of the stem of the verb. It just happens to have a prefix. But it's still sprechen, so versprechen. If it's at the end or in the middle of a word or a syllable, then it's like the sp, English sp. So it's the same really. Wespe, Aspirin, lispeln. And similar thing with the ST. At the beginning of a word, it's like in English st. So Straße, studieren. And again, I've got two words here which are a combination of two words. So Hauptstadt, because Stadt starts with an ST, so that's Stadt. And we just put something in front of it, but that doesn't change the pronunciation of Stadt. And verstehen, because stehen starts with a st sound. So having the prefix there doesn't change the pronunciation. If it's at the end of the or the middle of the word or a syllable, then it's like the English st. So Husten, Gäste, Donnerstag, Fenster. Now, the SS, two S's, or is it the SZ letter? Before the spelling reform, there were lots of words written with the SZ letter. And in the spelling reform in 1995, there were some rules made that these words we've got here used to be spelled with the SZ, but because they're all after a short vowel sound, they are now spelled with a double S. So Fass, Schloss, Stress. If you have got any books, whether it's textbooks or novels or anything, that were written before the spelling reform, you would see those words still spelled with the SZ. But with the new rule now, it's Fass, Schloss, Stress. But we haven't got rid of the SZ, because if it's a long vowel sound or a diphthong, so if you've got two vowels together, we still use it. So Fußball is still spelled with the SZ, as it always has been. The same goes to Weiß and 30. And I'm going to read you some words again. Do you spell them with the SS or SZ? Muss. And I read it again. Muss. Is that two S's or SZ? Maß. Maß. Ich weiß. Ich weiß. Two S's or SZ? And then wir wissen. Wir wissen. What about wir essen? Wir essen. Or aß. aß. What do you think? Did you spell them correctly with 2 S's or SZ? This is what it looks like. Muss is a short U, so it's 2 S's. Maß, which has got a long A sound, SZ. Ich weiß, you've got the EI in front of it, so it's got to be the SZ. But wir wissen is with 2 S's. Wir essen, 2 S's. And aß is still spelled with the SZ. And some tongue twisters again. Schnecken erschrecken, wenn sie an Schnecken schlecken. Denn zum Schrecken vieler Schnecken, manche Schnecken nicht schmecken. Siebzehn Schnitzer, die auf 17 Schnitzsitzen sitzen und mit ihren spitzen Schnitzern Ritzen in ihr Schnitzholz schlitzen, wobei sie schwitzen, sind 17 schwitzende, schnitzende, auf dem Schnitzsitz sitzende, spitze Schnitzer, benützende Schnitzholzritzenschlitzer. You notice I said that pretty slow? And I've practiced beforehand. It's your turn now. I'll see you in the next video. Right, we've got one consonant left, the letter C, and C in connection with CH and CK. Now, C on its own. If it's before an E, an I, or an A umlaut, it's pronounced as ts. So Celsius, Cent, City, Caesar. Any other letters? It's just a K sound. Kaffee, Campingplatz, Clown. And these are most likely all foreign words. There is an exception. Some foreign words are pronounced differently. Cello, cappuccino. But they're clearly foreign words, are not original German words. Your turn. Is it a K or a Ts? So K or Ts sound. Ready for the answer? The first word is Cadillac. Curry. City. Zelle. Zivil. Computer. CH. This is the one that's bothering most German learners. Also because it's quite difficult to sort of write down phonetically. If it's after an A, O, U or AU, so A, O, U or Au, then it's as in Loch Ness, so the ch sound, ch, Loch, ch, Auch, Buch, Tochter. After any other letters, it's a ch sound. Ich, Milch, wirklich, Mönch. And then quite often you have the CHEN and the meaning of it is something little. So some of those neuter nouns. And that's then always chen, Brötchen, Mädchen, Kaninchen, Kännchen. So quite often the word changes and the pronunciation changes. Here we've got a list of words where I've actually only added an umlaut. Most of them turned it from singular to plural. So the singular word, Buch, because it's after a U, Buch. But then the plural is Bücher. Singular is Tochter, Tochter. And the plural, Töchter, Töchter. Loch, Loch. Löcher, Löcher. Brauch, Brauch. Bräuche, Bräuche. Bach, Bach. Bäche, Bäche. And this is not a singular plural, but to like in the past tense, imperfect tense, is mochte, and the conditional it's möchte. Now, if you are struggling with the pronunciation of those, bearing in mind again that you very unlikely say any of these words completely on their own, and it's a context again that will tell you, or that will help the other person understand what you're talking about. So let's assume you're struggling with the difference of Tochter and Töchter. Yeah? Well, you wouldn't just say Tochter or Töchter. You might say, ich habe eine Tochter. And then the eine is giving away that is just one daughter. Ich habe zwei Töchter. The zwei is giving it away. Whether you're saying ich mochte or ich möchte, most likely in the context already it would work out what you said. Some exceptions. CH here, again with foreign words, is pronounced like the K again. So Chor, Christoph, Chaos, Orchester. And some regional exceptions. Now, I've only ever pronounced these three words as Chemie, China, Chirurg, because that's what we say where I come from. Chemie, China, Chirurg. In other areas, people say Chemie, China, Chirurg. This is one of the reasons also why when you're learning a foreign language, you just learn the standard. So any textbook will teach you the standard German, and it's up to you really to pick up how people in the area that you're visiting or you're moving to is speaking. But you're probably not very often talking about a surgeon who talks about chemistry in China. So you'll probably be all right. Foreign words. French ones are just pronounced, the CH is pronounced just like in the French language. Chauffeur, chef, charm. And English ones, chicken, chat, cheeseburger. CHS is pronounced like X or X, Axel, Büchse, Sechs, wachsen. Over to you. Do we pronounce the CH as in ach, as in ich, or is it an X? And I'm about to reveal the answer. Reich, as in ich, Tücher, Abbruch, wechseln, kochen. Did you get those? Well done if you did. CK is always pronounced just like a K sound and always after a short vowel sound. Abtrocknen, Blick, Decke, Schreck. Now, this tongue twister is one of those, you You just got 2 words, you need to repeat them 3 times, and you're supposed to say it as fast as possible. I can't. I challenge you to do it. Chinesisches Schüsselchen. Chinesisches Schüsselchen. Chinesisches Schüsselchen. I can do it nice and slowly. And the last one, Mechthild und Eckhard machen schrecklich Krach. And that was the last of the consonants. Let's talk about stress. No, not that stress. Not the stress you might be, hopefully not, having learning German, but the stress on words, the emphasis. Where do we put the emphasis on German words? As a general rule, and that tells you straight away, there is a general rule, but there are lots of exceptions. Most German words are stressed on the first syllable. So, Abend, Deutschland, heute, langweilig, singen. The stress is on the second syllable, for example, after words beginning with B, Emp, Ent, Er, G, Ver, Zer. Examples: besonders, Empfang, Enttäuschung, Erfahrung, Gedächtnis, Verein, Zerbrechen. And on the second last syllable, with words that end in ieren. Rasieren, telefonieren, studieren. And on the last syllable, with words ending in I, ich or tät. Bäckerei, Theorie, Musik, Universität. Foreign words, however, are usually stressed as in the original language. Computer, hotel. And that's where one of the problems comes, because sometimes it's not really that obvious anymore whether it's a foreign word or not. I mean, I wouldn't have recognized hotel as a foreign word. But that's the beauty of language. Just something to show you here. We've got 4 words which are almost identical between English and German. But each time in English the stress is on the first syllable and in German on the second one. So total is total in German. Jewel is Juwel in German. April? No, it's April. Local? Lokal. So that's a little bit of help on the stress, but like I said before, there are so many exceptions and different words, and trying to work out whether a word is originally a foreign word or a German word will take a bit of time. I'll see you in the next video. So, to conclude the whole course, about the spelling, not so much the alphabet spelling, because that's pretty standard, but how you pronounce letters and letter formations inside a word and how you pronounce words. There are lots of German rules and lots of exceptions. Just like with everything else. So one of the exceptions, foreign words, like the English joggen, for example. It gets Germanized. So the verb jog, to jog, is in German joggen, because verbs usually end in en. And it's ich jogge, du joggst, er jogged. But the pronunciation stays in English. Sometimes it's not that obvious. Sometimes the pronunciation gets to the German pronunciation, sometimes it doesn't. It also depends on how the people who are saying those words feel. Looking at some French words. Garage. Nobody in Germany would say Garage. although that would have been the German pronunciation. It's Garage. Slightly different are the next two words. Now, a lot of Germans saying pensioniert and orange, because those come from the French language. Yeah, somebody who's retired may saying, ich bin pensioniert. Und ich mag die Farbe orange. But a lot of other people, and actually me including, would say, ich bin pensioniert. Und ich mag die Farbe orange. So it's a little bit more Germanized. Not quite, because if it was a German spelling, it would be, or pronunciation, it would be pensioniert. Und orange. Don't think anybody says that. But you've got the choice whether you want to stick to the pensioniert or pensioniert, orange or orange. And the next one, we even got two spellings. Parfum, if you want the German pronunciation, or parfum, if you want the French pronunciation. And then we have that word, Kaffee. Now, based on the German rule, the emphasis would be on the first word, Kaffee, but a lot of people say Kaffee. For a long time, I used to say, posh people drinking Kaffee, whereas common people like me drink coffee. And actually, some people even say Kaffee. But it isn't quite that. It is also the case of what's popular. And last time I read an article about it, they were saying that Kaffee seems to be the preferred choice. In a few years, it may be different again. Which is the other beauty of languages. It changes all the time. Local dialects. Some of the words get pronounced completely different in the north than they are in the south. One example, which a lot of English people probably like, especially those who are struggling with saying ich. In Berlin, those who speak proper Berliner dialect will say ich or icke, whereas in other areas they don't. Think of your own language, your native language, English or whatever language it may be. Think of the standard, and then think of all the variations you can hear in different parts of that country. Now, all my years in England, I've only ever lived in Wiltshire, which is in the southwest of England. If I go up north, I might be struggling with understand what people are saying. So if people who live in the country sometimes have problems, then don't worry if you're having problems. Again, that's the beauty of learning a foreign language, but that's the case with any language, not just with learning German. And I'll just leave you with one more tongue twister. It's almost like a little story. And I'll try and read it without any mistakes. Wussten Sie schon, dass, wenn in Reden von Walzwerken und Waldzwergen die Rede ist, es zu Irritationen beim Hörer führt, da es phonetisch nicht ganz leicht ist zu unterscheiden, ob es sich um Waldzwerke oder Waldzwerge handelt. Gott sei Dank ist es aber relativ selten, dass ein Waldzwerg ein Walzwerk besucht oder Walzwerke in der Umgebung der Waldzwerge erbaut werden. Wenn allerdings ein Waldzwerg ein Walzwerk baut, handelt es sich demzufolge um ein Waldzwerg-Walzwerk. Wenn dieser dann auch noch darin arbeitet, ist es dann offensichtlich ein Walzwerk-Wald. No, I can't get that right. Walzwerk-Waldzwerg. On that note, where a German native speaker makes a mistake reading a German word, what do you need to worry about? Just enjoy learning it. if British places were pronounced in German, what would they sound like? Now, the idea came to me because sometimes students are surprised to hear that Germans don't say London, they say London. And they're even more surprised to find out that Edinburgh is in fact Edinburgh. So that gave me the idea, and I found 20 British places, and I've turned it into a listening exercise because I am going to say them to you as if they were German words. Now you can listen out and see if you recognize those places. Ambleside. Ambleside is in fact Ambleside. East-like. East-like. Usually known as Eastleigh. The next one is easy. Perth. Perth. Recognize it? It's Perth. Folkestone. Folkestone. You probably know it as Folkestone. Reading. Reading. Better known as Reading. Harrogate. Harrogate. Recognize it? Harrogate. Worcester. Worcester. And that in fact is Worcester. Cambridge. Cambridge. Better known as Cambridge. Nuneaton. Nuneaton. Or better known as Nuneaton. Salisbury. Salisbury. You probably recognize that one as Salisbury. Glasgow. Glasgow. Could be a Russian place, but it isn't. It's Glasgow. Worthing. Worthing. And that's better known as Worthing. Svanage. Svanage. Swanage. Newcastle. Newcastle. Better known as Newcastle. Jon og Groats. Jon og Groats. What could that be? Well, it's John O'Groats. Brighton. Brighton. Better known as Brighton. Gloucester. Gloucester. And that in fact is Gloucester. Whitehaven. 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 Newbury. Newbury. That's better known as Newbury. De Vitzes. De Vitzes. And that's probably the most difficult one. First of all, that's where I live. And secondly, even English people who don't know the place don't always know how to pronounce it. Devices. Did you recognize them all? You might want to do it the other way around. Choose some other towns and pronounce them in German, in English, and just see what silly words come out. Enjoy. When new students learn the alphabet and those lovely umlauts on the A, O or U, the question comes up, does it matter? Well, it does change the meaning of the word. Although having said that, quite often the rest of a sentence would help a German speaker realize which word you said, even if you did not quite say it right. But I found quite a few words, verbs, nouns, a mixture really, where the meaning of the word changes because of the umlaut. So let's have a look at them. First one is singular or plural. Apfel is one apple. Äpfel is more than one. Bruder is your brother. Brüder is your brothers. Faden, your string. Fäden, strings. Mutter, mother. Mütter, mothers. Vogel, bird. Vögel, birds. Some verbs that change the meaning with the umlaut. Drucken, to print. Drücken, to push. Erkalten is when you let something go cold. Erkälten is when you catch a cold. Futtern, to scoff, when you're eating not very dignified. Füttern, to feed. Lauten, to sound. Läuten, to ring. Some nouns. Achtung, which could be attention, but also your dignity. Ächtung is condemnation. Bar, just like in English. Bear is a bear. Handler is a computer term, same as in English. Händler, a dealer or a salesperson. Grate, now that's a plural word, which is ridges. And Gräte is a fishbone. Sage, a legend. Säge, a saw. Schussel or Schussel, a scatterbrain. Schüssel, a bowl. And a mixture. So when you see it written down, you would recognize whether it's a noun or a verb, but in spoken language, you wouldn't necessarily unless you understand German really well. Das Alter, which is the age, but älter means older. Haufen, which is the heap or the pile, and Häufen is to pile up. Schon, already, and schön, which is pretty. Schwul, which means gay, and schwül, which is hot and humid. Gewahr, aware. Das Gewehr, the warranty. And that's Gewehr spelled with an A umlaut. There is another Gewehr spelled with an E, which is a gun. Wahrung, protection. Währung, currency. And when people come to the modal verbs, they realize that they sound a bit alike. Ich durfte Schokolade essen. Now that's a past tense sentence. I was allowed to eat chocolate. Ich wünschte, ich dürfte Schokolade essen. There's your wishful thinking. I wish I was to be allowed to eat chocolate. And the same with können. Ich konnte Klavier spielen. It's past tense again. I could play the piano, or more like I was able to play the piano. Maybe now I can't anymore. Oh, ich wünschte, ich könnte Klavier spielen. I wish I could play the piano. Ich musste meine Hausaufgaben machen. I had to do my homework. Ich müsste eigentlich meine Hausaufgaben machen. I should be doing my homework, but I'm not sure if I can be bothered. Not quite the same, is it? And although I'm sure there are lots more, I found two differences. One is a verb, benutzen, which is to use in German, but the Austrians say benutzen. And for any holiday makers, Fürth is a town in Austria, whereas Fürth is a town in Germany. Over to you. Which one of these words am I saying? The one without the umlaut or the one with the umlaut? The first word is Bruder. Bruder. And that, of course, is without the umlaut. Vögel. Vögel. That's with. Drücken. Drücken. That's also with. Achtung. Achtung. And that's without again. Sage. Sage. Yeah, without. Älter. Älter. Which one did I use? Yeah, it's the one with the umlaut. Füttern. Füttern. Another one with an umlaut. And a few more, the last lot. Haufen. Haufen. The first one again. Schön. Schön. And that is the one with the umlaut. Schussel. Schussel. The scatterbrain, yes. Währung. Währung. And that's with the umlaut. And the last one, just those modal verbs. Which one am I using? Durfte. Durfte. That was a past tense one, yeah. Konnte. Konnte. That's also the past tense one. Müsste. Müsste. And that was with the umlaut. How did you get on? Did you hear the differences? Can you say them yourself? Have a go.